But it was one of the things that really opened my eyes to knowing like, all right, if there's someone that I'm going to allow to come into my life, it's because you're making my life so much better.
Yeah.
You're making my peace so much more peaceful. You're making my joy so much more I can't even talk. You're bringing me more joy,
yeah.
you know? And it's one of those things that like I had to sit back and realize like dating for me now is, are you coming into my life and making it better?
Honestly, though, welcome back to another episode. So that was terrible. That was my British accent.
I think you did good.
Thank you.
For what it's worth, I think you did good.
I'm going to practice it for next time, so they better be ready, okay? Hi, guys. Welcome back. I'm your host, Zena. Thank you for joining me again. If it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. Make sure you subscribe before you do anything else, okay? It is still Women's History Month. Shout out to us women out here doing our thing, working in all industries, and, you know, just elevating and doing us.
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Today's guest is a woman in the music industry. She goes by the name of Cree Ashley. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's so funny. I flipped my name backwards for the world, but I just go by Cree. And my first name is Ashley Cree. It's hyphenated, actually.
Oh.
So my mom gave me the hyphen. She's like, I just didn't want to name you Ashley because, you know, I
It's
was
such
just
a
too
common
boring.
name.
Yeah, she was like, it's too boring. And till this day, I don't know the story of how I got Cree, but I just, whatever story people bring me, I just
I'll take it.
know I like instigate it. Like
Okay.
people are like, oh my God, are you named after Cree Summers? I'm like, yeah. Then like my Spanish friends will think it's like after the Spanish word creer, which is like believe, you know, and then I just run with that, you know, so.
It's like whatever meaning y'all want to give it, I'll take it.
Thank
as long as
you.
it's not a negative.
Exactly.
Right?
I got the Creed movie though, like the Michael B. Jordan thing. I'm like, come on, y'all.
That makes sense, but also it's like, no.
It's like, no, there's no D at the end.
I was born before that movie even came out. Like,
before the concept. Well, I don't know before the concept was thought of, you know, but I like to think that like, not the Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, not that
Creed.
one.
Great movie, but it's not me.
Just not your name.
That's not my name. That's not my name.
Well, that's the history behind your name. I love it.
Thank you.
I feel like I have to give my little history behind my name.
Please, Zena.
Okay, so my name is Zena with a Z, and my mom thought I would be her last child. So she named me the last letter of the alphabet.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I was named.
And how many more did she have after you?
One.
Okay, what's their a number?
Oh my God, it's my little brother. So his name is It's actually Alpha Omega.
So he started the alphabet over.
Yes.
Okay.
Courtesy
the
of my dad.
And the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Listen, we know. The beginning and the end, she's like, no more. She like KO'd with him. Like,
that's it. Yes. So that's the history of our names.
Okay.
Now we're going to get into my fast five.
Ooh.
I'm just going to ask you 5 questions of this or that. You give your response.
Okay.
And I might investigate or I might keep it pushing.
Ooh, I'm getting a little nervous, y'all.
No. This is fun.
Okay,
This is the fun part.
All right, let's do it. You said this or that. Okay.
Yes. Protective hairstyles or natural hair?
Come on. Protect. You know what? It speaks for itself. Protective.
It's funny because when I walked into the elevator and I saw your hair, I was like, damn, I already know which one she's going to pick today.
Listen, all this hard work, okay, you know, done by yours truly. So
I was just going to say, and she does it herself. You better flex.
Listen, and it's funny because growing up, I thought everybody knew how to do their own hair. So I made it a mission to know how to do my own.
Oh, wow.
Because in my household, growing up, everyone knew how to do their own hair. So I thought that was just a thing that you had to learn. So I learned it, figured it out. Not a lot of people know.
Girl, no.
And yeah.
I still don't know.
Your hair looks gorgeous, by the way. So please stop.
I don't know what I be doing. So every time someone compliments it, I'm like, that was a fluke.
It fits you. It's nice and cute.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Of course.
Would you rather a loyal man or a provider?
A loyal man or a provider? It's crazy that in this generation, I have to like pause and think.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem, okay?
I agree.
You should be both.
I agree.
So for this one, you getting a both. I'm throwing a both in there because it's crazy how like we're put in this space now to choose like whether we want our partner to be loyal to us or whether we want our partner to provide. Why can't you be both? Because we're expected to be both. We're expected to also be a provider. 9 months, boom, pop out the child provider, and still be loyal and not be having babies with nobody else provide. So it's like, it's weird that now it's kind of one or the other, like, oh, my man provides, but you know, I hold it down. Or you have the, oh, my man is loyal, but you know, he's still getting his career together, and I'm gonna hold him down. Like, it's crazy, but I think a man should be both. And there's not a problem with a man being both, and it's a flex when you're both. Period. And can we not curse on here?
Of course.
Oh, and your bitch is taking good care of. Okay, like. That's my
that's the standard.
My standard, you know?
I like it. I'm not going to be a dictator today and be like, or, because that makes a lot of sense. And I purposely asked that question just to get people's train of thought when it comes to like infidelity, when it comes to what they want in a man, what's important to them. You know what I mean? So it always lets me know, okay, she got a good head on her shoulders.
You know, and I'm still single, so clearly we ain't touched the surface of what that is yet. So it's cool.
All right. Well then, I hope you find your man who does both. Okay?
Thank you. Speak it into existence, honey.
You deserve. Are you a night owl or morning person?
I am a morning person, but I'm a morning person because I love my bed. So I make sure I get to bed because I enjoy sleeping. And no, it's so crazy. Like I have my cousin's daughter will call me at like 7 every single day. She called me before I got here. And it's one of those things where she knows that if she calls me any later, I might be like either at a work event or asleep. You know? And so I'm just...
Wait, so how many hours of sleep a night do you require to be okay?
I require 7. Okay. But I don't ever get it. This is a trying game. Okay, we ain't succeed yet. Because I wake up 3 hours into the night. Now I'm up thinking about what I got to do the next day, making sure that I do X, Y, Z, and then getting a little overwhelmed, like slightly overwhelmed, but not enough to kind of freak me out. Because, you know, as women, we do a lot outside of even work, you know, just holding down like the friendships we have, the family relationships we have, the platonic relationships we have.
Romantic.
You know, romantic, all of them.
Girl, my skincare routine alone takes 30 minutes at night. Like, that's a lot.
I gotta ice my face. Baby, these pores, and don't zoom in. No need to zoom in, editor. Please don't zoom in.
I am the editor.
No need to zoom in, Z. I'm a morning person. 7 hours of sleep, I wish I had. However, I get 4, a spacer, maybe 2 more. And then I'm up.
I'm the same way too.
You know, so.
Like, I like 8. I would love 8, but I'm like a 6 on average. You know what I mean? And
you sleep through the night ever?
Oh yeah, I do all the time.
Damn, girl.
I don't get up to use the restroom.
No. I'm envious of that. My body wakes up like naturally at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God, that is
night.
diabolical.
Don't call me at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not answering the phone. That is not one of those things. Okay.
The body's up, but I'm still asleep. That's a big difference.
Exactly.
Okay? When it comes to makeup, are you like a calm, natural beat or like a glam, full glam?
You know, it's because of you today why I be my face. Okay. But if my best friend is watching, Safai 305, she's a heavy beauty influencer. She knows that me wearing makeup is like a, oh my God.
It's a moment.
My minimal is like a little bit of concealer, some Fenty mascara.
You love your Fenty.
Yo, I love my Fenty. She got I think it's like thick or something.
No, they look good. Like,
girl, this is that mascara. Okay, thank you.
You put it on.
Listen, I prefer a light, you know, just mascara, maybe a little eyebrow filler based on if shorty girl messed up my eyebrows for the night or not. But you know, like I'm really light, but I got cute today for you.
You did. I appreciate that. I like it. But it's still like a natural. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's like you see it, but it's still skin. It's still like blends. Yeah, it's just a little like enhanced.
Girl, yes, that's that Fenty.
Which is what makeup should be.
Thank you. Shouldn't be.
Who's that?
I don't recognize you, baby.
That's what it should have been.
You recognize me. It's Cree without the D, okay? Thank you.
I love the energy. Hip hop or R&B?
Ooh, as a music person, you gonna ask me this?
You know, I had to.
Woo. Dang.
Take your time.
This one hurts because the basketball girl in me wants to say hip hop, but like the lover girl in me wants to say R&B. But I don't play basketball no more, so we're gonna go with R&B.
We better fast in your life, okay?
Listen, okay, I need money long at the wedding. Okay.
Ooh, twin.
You know?
Or have you?
Right? And made for me and all of that good stuff.
Yes, I love that. It's hard. That's a hard question for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It is because I feel like they coexist.
And it's like sometimes it's the mood too. It's like if I'm in the gym, I went for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm on my way to work and I know I have a long day ahead of me.
R&B.
Nah, it's hip hop.
Hip hop?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I have to calm myself when I'm going to work. Okay. And I guess because so much of my back end is music related, so it's listening to a lot of different genres of music, mainly hip hop, because with Audiomack, like hip hop is really huge on our platform. So it's Afro beats, R&B is kicking it up. Like, so I know the majority, I know that majority of what I listen to will most likely be hip hop. So I just gotta, you know, cleanse the palette for the day, see what we going into. A lot of the time, just like listening to things before they are released, so the rest of the world doesn't even know like that we're like weeding out music on a day, you know what I mean, just to get them like the best music and stuff. So I feel like for me it's R&B. I'm gonna pick R&B.
I get that. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. Like, especially when you're about to go into work and listen to music. I completely understand that. Well, that leads me into you studied journalism at FSU? FIU
in Miami.
Florida
International University. Top of things.
I have a cousin who went there.
Hey, shout out to your cousin. What's your cousin name?
Nicole.
Shout out to you, Nicole. You know, Panthers. I don't know. They have like this little raw thing. I don't be doing that. But shout out to the Panthers. Yeah, I went to FIU in Miami.
With communication.
Graduated, with my bachelor's.
Congrats. We communications major.
Oh, talk about it. That's why we clicked instantly, because we know how to communicate, okay? We all need to go to school for communication, but we're not going to talk about that.
Off the bat.
Right?
I was like, damn, you're like the only person I remember meeting for a long time that night.
To say that like, okay, communications is our degree, and people wonder why we're so able to like, not only enunciate, but get the point across and get to the result of the conversation, the fruitfulness.
And then it's just a flow too. It just flows.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell me, how did you end up in music?
This started with like the relationship I had with my grandfather. Like if you want to talk about the beginning of it, the surface of it, like where it started, the first grain of sand before it became an ocean was my grandfather.
That's who influenced
so
the music?
So when I was younger, he had like a little tape player and it was like, my boy lollipop, dun, 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 you make my heart go giddy up. So that was something I would always play with my grandfather in the living room. And then I didn't realize like this is brewing like the relationship I have with him and like music. And he used to play the piano in church. So we had a piano at the house. He would go into the piano was in his room. So he'd be in his room playing the piano and I would go in there and he's like singing and I'm like singing. And then fast forward to like me being in like the choir at church, to being in like a girls group with like,
wait, so you can sing too?
Two of my, we're not gonna do that because I ain't doing, I'm not doing that here. No, baby. This is me at like 10 at this point when I'm like in the girls group, and it was two of my best friends at the time. Shout out to Alexa and Monifa. We were in a group called Three Shining Stars. And so from there we were like performing at like local like festivals we had in Fort Lauderdale. We done like the national anthem at like this Caribbean festival. And I'm just going from like what I remember the most of. Then we were on the radio. We were on gospel radio. We only sung gospel music, y'all. I did not know like what they call secular music. I didn't know about that until I was in like middle school, I would say. Where like, all right, your friends are starting to play other things. Like my friends got me like, sorry, Usher. My friends got me a bootleg Confession CD. With like the cover of it printed on the CD. Like, and it wasn't even like the proper album cover. But I knew Confessions from there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is music? Like,
this exists?
This exists. So fast forward from the girls group and stuff, throughout my life, like music just was attached to me at that point. Fast forward into college, I in high school, I was a fan of Lil Twist. Shout out to Lil Twist, Young Money.
That is so like down south, so southern.
It's so Young Money. When I was in high school, was the thing. Like if you had a YMCMB shirt, like you were it. You throwing up the signs. We didn't even know what type of signs we were throwing up, but we were like YMCMB, whatever. Wayne and Gutta and Twist and Nicki and whatever they threw up, we're doing. You know, like their influence was so heavy. But I took a liking to Lil Twist, and he was just so funny. It was him and his friend Lil Zay would be on like Ustream and stuff. So because I was a fan of him, he had posted that he was going to be on this radio station. So I'm like, oh my God, I want to listen, whatever. I go on the online radio. It's called Teen Diaries Radio online at the time. And I'm like listening in, and I see on their website, calling summer interns. I'm 17 at the time, 17 or 18, I don't remember. And calling summer interns. I'm like, Mom, I got to apply for this. My mom's like, what is this? Actually, no, I need to fax your information in. You're not sending any information online. Yeah. So my mom submits it over to Aisha, the founder of Pretty Girl Sweat now, but what was Teen Diaries. And she Skyped me in, interviewed me. I interned for her for 4.5 years. She's still my mentor till this day. She's still my sister, my big sister. Her and her husband, Al Branch, kind of taken me under their wing just to make sure like I'm operating the right way in this industry, because it's not an easy industry. And you see everybody again and again and again. And a lot of people don't realize that. People think like, oh yeah, cool. X you out the circle until you come over here and it's like, all right, I'm the person making the decisions in this circle that you now have to work with me. So that was just a speed, like a fast forward version of like from the beginning to where I'm at. But that was a whole run of it. But Aisha, interning for Aisha was really important for me because she groomed me.
So what exactly like were you doing as an intern?
So she had an online radio station. So the same radio station that Lil Twist was a guest on, I end up becoming the script writer for that. So writing the run of the show, how things are going to go, down to like the funny moments for the show. Then I kind of took complete control over the show. So all Aisha was doing was hosting. And I even stepped in to host a few episodes too.
Am I her producer?
So it was just, listen, it was like I was like, Aisha, I have to graduate school this semester. I can't do this anymore. She's like, well, I love Pretty Girl Sweat. It's my baby and I believe in it. So I'm going to take my talents there. So that was the end of TD Radio.
Okay.
So because I was no longer a part of the production of the show, everything that was going into it, it's like for her to take that and go teach somebody else, it's going to take more time to do that. So, which is now Pretty Girl Sweat, a nonprofit.
And I saw you were a mentor. They did something for girls.
So Girls Who Listen.
Yes.
Girls Who Listen is a nonprofit organization founded by my friend Khadijah. So it's to educate women in music, like aspiring
like A&Rs, managers,
anything. We just want to educate the female community because it's not a lot of that happening. But yeah, with Pretty Girl Sweat, they just help fight childhood obesity, and that's where it started. And now they're like killing it. And they're down in Atlanta, based in Atlanta, but a really good nonprofit. Yeah.
I have to check that out.
Girl, listen, you got to get Aisha up here. She will listen. Aisha, if you're listening, come on, sis.
I would love to have that conversation with her.
Trust me, she's a gem.
Whenever she's in New York, we'll make it happen.
I'll let you know.
Thank you. Tell me more about Audiomack. So that's how, let me give them backstory of how we met. Major 9 was this artist
Florida
I've had
boy.
on the show, exactly, from Florida. And Cree's from Florida, too.
Yes, I'm from Broward, Miami Metropolitan. I know he gonna say that. But
Jamaican descent, but
exactly
from Florida, right?
Exactly.
Because they might be a little confused with the accent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, y'all should already know.
That's what I'm saying. But we went to Major's listening party or listening event, I would say. Kind of like a networking
like a nice dinner.
Yeah. It was very much.
I forgot the name of the restaurant, though.
The Standard.
The Standard.
The wine room at the Standard Hotel.
Standard.
And I walk in and we instantly, like, I just see her. I introduce myself to everyone. I sit next to her and we just click. It was like locked in for like a good hour until I was like, I'm supposed to be networking with everyone else.
Yeah, she's like, girl, I'm going to go over here because I got to go get him. Like, I need to talk to Major now. I was like, girl, do your thing, do your thing.
That's how we met. But you were telling me about Audiomack, right? Which is the audio platform you work for. So tell me what you do there. How did you get started there?
Okay. So I've been with Audiomack for almost 4 years now. June will make it 4 years. Fingers crossed, 4 years. Thank you. I started with Audiomack in 2019. No, 2020. 2020. I met Ponty and Matthew. Ponty is one of our founders, and Matthew is my now VP. I met them at a Dope People Meet event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was managing an artist at the time, and I hit Matthew like, hey, can they come up to the studio, whatever the case may be. Matthew knew that I had been like hosting these networking dinners where I'd invite all my friends in the music industry. I'm like, you can't say what you do till the end of the night. And I got to do 2 of those before a pandemic hit and shut shit down.
Yeah, now you got to bring that back around.
Okay, so it was like because for me, being in music is more about like your titles and it's more about your contribution of self. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they hear your titles and they're like, oh, this person's that person, this person's that person. But it's like the titles are what you have at the moment. When all of these things are stripped away, who are you still? You know? So I wanted to start to cultivate a community based on just who you are, not where you are or what you work for. Exactly. And, you know, pandemic kind of tried to shit on me, but it's okay.
I love that. No, you got to bring that back.
You gonna come to my dinner? You gonna come to my dinner, Z?
Girl, I'm coming to everyone. For real. I love that idea.
We'll try. Somebody probably gonna bite that by now, but it's okay.
They're not gonna do it like you.
Yeah, you have.
You're the originator.
You said it. So I invited Matthew to a few dinners, and when Audiomack was hiring, he knew. And at the time, I was working as a marketing coordinator at an orthodontist, Dr. Bronsky, #1 orthodontist in New York City. So imagine moving to New York and your first job 3 days after you moved here is to work for the #1 orthodontist in New York City.
Girl, you blessed.
Where like actors and musicians, all their kids are coming there. And you're just sitting there, you're like, wait, what? This is New York City? Oh my God, it's gonna be great, you know? And then full transparency, I lost my job 3 months in. But you know why I laugh about that is because Dr. Bronsky, he knew that I was not trying to be a marketing coordinator for orthodontists. I did the best job I could. However, he knew that wasn't my permanent home. And even when the artist, King Hoodie, even when we got him to Sway in the morning, Dr. Bronsky was like, go. Like, that's what you want. Like, go support the artist that you know. He used to always have this joke, like, if you meet Beck, though, you got to get me Beck tickets. I got to meet Beck. And I literally have that in the back of my head. Like,
to this day.
If there's any opportunity for me to meet Beck and get Dr. Bronsky to meet him, like, I'm going to do that for sure.
That is like such a blessing because so often you hear like people when they leave jobs, it's on bad terms. Like, I can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't even put on your resume sometimes.
Yeah, I know you can't. Listen, I mean, I didn't put him on for the Audiomack thing because I was blessed enough to have Matthew reach out and allow me to know that they were hiring so that I can apply for the role. And I applied for the role and I didn't get it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get it. They hired someone else. And fast forward, and I interviewed February. And then the world kind of shut down March, April.
Yes.
So then no one knew what was going to happen. But all of the streaming platforms had a surge because everyone's home now. People don't have nothing to do. So everyone is listening to music, consuming music. So I'm pretty sure across the board, all streaming platforms, as shitty as it is to say, benefited from the pandemic. And then in June, they hit me and was like, I would never forget, I was in such a low place in my life. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I got to move back home. So I was staying with my mom's best friend at the time. And I was like, all right, I'm going to leave my car here. I'm just going to go home and start to regroup the move back to Florida. Yeah. So I went home on my mom's birthday.
So at that point, you were in New York for a year?
For not even a year yet, because I moved 2019. So this is the June of 2020.
Okay?
Yeah. So I didn't even get to do the, hey, been here for a year, whatever. So this, so then I literally called my mom. I was like, all right, come back home. Like, come home. You're here, whatever. And then I didn't tell her when I was going to come home. So I surprised her for her birthday. Her birthday is June 2nd. She a Gemini. Shout out to my Geminis. Okay. And I surprised her literally the next day. Audiomack emailed me. Was like, hey, we have a role for you and want you to start Monday. Now, I went back home to Miami, Florida. Okay, Miami metropolitan area, Broward County, Florida. To live my best life because I'm like, I'm back with my friends. We're gonna be outside.
And Florida was open.
It was open. Florida was outside. Okay, so I was just like, yay. I'm not gonna hold you. If I'm being completely honest, because so much excitement was filled. I was filled with so much excitement until I wasn't excited anymore.
I know that feeling.
You know, and like a lot of people don't like to admit it. When we don't get the things that we're excited for, it puts a damper. It kind of makes you feel like, dang, God told me to have faith. I have faith, but what, bro? Like what, Pops?
I did my part with having my faith, but you didn't deliver with
let it rain. R-E-I-G-N, you know? Yeah. But it's one of those things that it was a humbling moment for me because it was like, all right, are you still going to have faith after all these things didn't happen for you? But what I learned is that even when things go wrong, if you step forward in the things that are going right, just the things that are bringing light to your life, whether it's calling your bestie and just keying on the phone with her, or like going outside and just doing something that you enjoy doing. Your life could be in shambles, but still step forward in doing these things. I went to Florida with, I think I had like not even $100 in my account because I was just like, I'm
figure it out.
This $100, listen, I'm gonna find a couple clients to do hair, y'all. You know, I did my own hair myself. Make it stretch and continue to let the ball roll, you know, wherever it has to go. And I got that email the next day thinking I was gonna live my best life that weekend. It was like, no, you're gonna work. You're gonna stay inside and you're gonna work. And I moved back. That's October, I want to say. Maybe September. Let's say September.
Okay, so I forgot the world was remote.
Yes. So I got to work remote. Okay.
I like that for you.
So I still got to live my best life on the weekends in Miami. Do you get what I'm saying?
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
God looked out.
And it was still the same intention. Like, I'm going home to live my best life. God was like, all right, here's a job. So you have some money to go live your best life. And down in Miami, I worked in radio. I even skipped that part. I worked in radio for Intercom, which is now Odyssey. So I worked in Top 40. So it was Power 96, Kiss Country, Light FM, 104.3.
Oh, the poppin' stations in Miami.
In Florida. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I got to work in festivals and stuff down there. So my network in Miami, when I went home, like I didn't really have to like pay for anything. I was like, hey, you having this event, keep him on the list. Can you da-da-da? But they didn't even know that I needed to be outside. I needed to just enjoy myself so bad because my life was so shit. Yeah. You know? And Audiomack picked me up and, you know, we've been running ever since.
I love that story. Because it's like, I always say home is where the heart is, and it's like what grounds you, you know? And I think the story also goes to show like timing is everything at the end of the day. Like,
I could not rush that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I could not rush that. And I had people like, oh, you moved to New York? Good luck. They're going to make you intern. They're going to make you go get food. I said, no, they're going to make you get food as an intern. They're going to pick my brain because they know what I'm bringing to the table. Exactly. However, if you want to go get food, let that be your job. I would never let an intern do that for what? That's crazy.
But I also love that you knew yourself and what you would and wouldn't tolerate. And you had your accolades already. You had your degree in communications. You interned for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. I had the radio experience for 2 years.
Exactly.
I had the artist management. I was coming in at least knowing what the waters look like. Yeah. You know what I mean? Seeing what's in them and know
your feet were already wet.
Feet was already, you know what I mean? Pedicure done up. You know? I'm sorry.
Tell me, because I look at the music industry to be a male-dominated industry, right? From artists.
You can say that. It is a male-dominant industry.
Thank you for the confirmation, because from the outside looking in, like, my perception is my reality, right? But you live it, you breathe it, you work with these people. Is what some of the challenges you face as a woman in that industry?
I think some of the challenges is just not having the other women on your side.
It's a
simple competition. Simple. I'm gonna be so honest. A lot of outside of Aisha championing me, I have a few other women that are higher than me, you know, have done a lot more in the industry. But when it comes to the horizontal reaching across, you don't have a lot of women that champion you, you know? And that's the hard part about it, because it's always been, and it's crazy to say this, I've had a great amount of male relationships in the industry get me to another level, right? And when I say relationships, I'm not talking about relationships. I'm talking about...
I know that, but clarify.
Yeah, but of course I'm going to clarify that, because one thing that a lot of people... the music industry has a bunch of speculation, right? Oh, this is what's going on. That's what's going on inside, out, blah, blah, blah. But the guys that have championed me, based on the relationships I have with them, is something that I could never pay for, something that I could never finesse, something that it's because I feel like it's because of the strong will I have as a woman to not let nobody come and try to fuck me over. And a lot of women have this as well. However, when it comes to championing another woman is when the cattiness gets involved. And when it's like, oh, I don't want her to look like she's shining, or I don't want her to look in front of our male counterparts. So when that becomes in question, it's like, all right, but you're treating her this way in front of the same male counterparts that you are saying don't support women or don't look out for women. I would be a hypocrite to say that. Yeah. Right? Because in my experiences, like what you said about perception is your reality, in my experiences, a lot of men have had my back. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So like my boss, Z, has my back to the end. Like, I am so grateful to have him as a leader and be on his team, because he's so quick to educate and correct and not do it in a malicious manner. No. He does it in a way like, all right, Cree, look, this is how we're going to have things go, blah, because of XYZ. Like, he explains no pun intended, XYZ. He explains himself in a way where it allows me to comprehend, like, oh, shit, we should have done this way, or this is how things should be done moving forward, or we should educate whoever on this so that way they are aware where we're coming from. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from my male counterparts in the music industry. I wish that a lot of women would be more open. Like the girlies that are on my side that I'm looking out for, they know that I got them. I'm bringing their name into rooms, you know, and it's one of the things where I don't see that a lot. And it saddens me and it disheartens me to also hear through the grapevine, you know, like, what? That's crazy.
What's funny? It's not just the music. It's not only the music industry. Because I had this conversation with my friend who works in HR, corporate, but HR, and she says the same thing, where it's like there's a competition or like upper management who are women, they look down on her or it's just very negative, you know, and they project a lot onto her. And I think especially it being Women's History Month, it's important that we recognize that there's room for everyone.
There is.
You know, I feel like society... I'm going to take it maybe just a little off tangent real quick, fine, right? But still within the realm of the conversation. As women, I feel like we're automatically like, we're pent up to like be put against each other, right? Like Beyonce had that song like, we are forced to challenge each other. We're in competition when it comes to men, when it comes to who has this, who looks like this, you know? And I think it's ingrained in a lot of us from a young age. And so we have this mindset where it can only be me. So while I'm here, I'm going to do whatever I can do to make sure you don't get to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And we really need to dismantle that way of thinking. And for a long time, that was also my experience. I worked in hospitality for a long time before moving to corporate. The women, the other EAs, like they actually took me under their wing and like built me up and looked out for me. And that was my first time like experiencing that from women in the work environment. You know, not the first time per se, but
where it pointed itself out, like, whoa.
Yes.
The first time it became like surface, like, oh my gosh, this
like,
is something that's happening.
And I feel like especially because it's in finance, it's in corporate, it's not something I expected. And it's such an amazing feeling, I have to say, you know.
You have your girls championing you.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I wish, I don't know. Like, I personally feel like it's going to change because I make sure I champion women. I've had, you know, women do me dirty or whatever the case may be. I've had men do me dirty when it comes to just working with and being in business with. However, I don't let that deter me from how I treat people and how I'm going to continue to treat people.
That part.
If you choose to do me dirty, that's on your part.
Yeah.
You're not doing me any disservice.
I'm going to go to sleep with a clear conscience.
Yes.
Because I know.
Because I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I know my intentions were good, you know? And a lot of, and I grew up as the only child until my sister was born, until my little sister was born.
Wait, so up until what age were you the only child?
Huh?
Up until what age were you the
6.
only child? Okay.
So I was spoiled rotten.
Yeah.
And I was spoiled rotten at the beginning of my days. My mom tells me this all the time. Mommy, if you watching Minoy, I'm telling her that you spoiled me. But I was spoiled rotten until my sister came in. And what that did for me is like, you're used to it being me. And then someone else comes in, you're like, shorty girl, what you think you about to...
What's happening?
What you think you're doing here, Chelsea? And it, as young as I was, I remember what that feeling of stepping aside felt like. And like, oh, my sister's here. Like I have to make space for her.
Yeah.
Because she's my sister.
What did that make you feel?
Right? And the craziest thing about it is like, that's how we should operate. Is your sister walks into the room, you need to make space for her.
Yes.
Even if you feel that, oh, she coming in here with her, it's still your sister. You need to make space for her. So a lot of people don't feel the need to do that because they go back to the me.
Yes.
However, that's your sister. You got to make space for her. So
we wouldn't be here right now if you hadn't made space for me.
Girl, and if you haven't made
vice versa, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and I was like, girl, sit right here. Like, oh, you're not going nowhere.
It's the concept of them saying like, you don't have to, your light doesn't dim because another light is shining.
Yep.
You know?
One candle don't lose its flame. You know, that whole cliche from lighting
shine
another
bright together.
You know, like a diamond. Come on, Riri. You already know what's
Caribbean girls run it at brewery. I'm just saying.
Okay, Caribbean girls run it.
You
but
already know.
It's one of those things. But I forgot. I didn't even really answer what I do at Audiomack. But I love my company. So sometimes talking about them, I always forget to go into like the structure of what we are, because we're such a great team. It's a company full of a bunch of creatives that are in music, like our CEOs, our founders, our DJs, like, you know what I mean? Like
y'all all love what y'all do.
We love what we do, and we're a team. We champion each other. And so I'm the senior manager for artist services at Audiomack. You know, hard work pays off. Hard work, you know. And I started as a contractor. So even when they did bring me on, it was a contractor, and then I got full time a month and a half later.
Flex.
You know, listen, okay. I was like, I love this. I need to stay here and I need to bust my ass so they know that I want to be here. And so I operate our studios. We have 3 in-house engineers. I oversee them. They're great, by the way. I also run our monetization program, which is how artists make money on platform from uploading directly to the platform, because we're a music platform that empowers fans, right? Artists and their fans. It's not just artists, it's artists and their fans.
A lot of platforms, they are just getting on that.
Listen.
Just trying to.
And the thing is, you can message your fans directly from your creator dashboard. So say, for instance, you got 20,000 fans, right? You know how there's broadcast channels on other platforms that you can opt into? You don't have to opt in. Like if you have 20,000 followers, you can message all of them at one time. It creates like a thread on your creator dashboard, so you can have conversation with your fans, you know? Independent artists, you can upload your music. If you don't have a distributor, you can have 2 songs uploaded. Now you qualify to get monetization. those accounts come to me. So, it's all your music. You gonna get approved. I'm gonna approve it. Okay. And it's something that we really want artists to know is a tool and a resource. It's a one-stop shop. You see all your analytics, all your data. It's a platform that I wish I had when I was in the 3 Shining Stars.
Yes.
Okay, because then
you're gonna be making some money off of your music.
It's okay. It's okay. It was meant for what it was to be
at that time.
know. And we love to champion artists. And I feel like we're growing and we're getting even bigger. Like it's like a large burn, like it's just getting bigger and bigger. So I'm excited to see like where we are 5 years from now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I'm excited to see where you are 5 years from now.
Same,
the company
girl.
too,
Thank
and
you.
growing. You're welcome.
Thank you.
What is the most fulfilling part of your job?
I think getting to meet a lot of different artists, but not just meeting them, being able to hear their story and kind of see what their purpose is beyond the music. Okay. Because I'm always a preacher for music being your vessel. It's a vessel, right? A ship is a vessel, a car is a vessel. Wherever you want to take it, a plane is a vessel. It should take you somewhere. So whether that is helping the world become a better place, whether that is creating new opportunities for your community, it should take you somewhere.
Got it.
It shouldn't just be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you think of all the greats, even like the James Brown, like he was a part of a lot of like, he was a part of a lot of, I don't know the proper term to use here, but let's say like the Black is Power movement back then, right? He's the reason saying Black is such a powerful thing. A lot of people don't know that. When he did the Black and I'm Proud, it went from being called the derogatory term to being called Black.
So he empowered the term.
He empowered the term.
I did not know that.
Listen, I went to the A&E premiere for his documentary. It's a 4-part series, and we got to watch episode 2. It should be on A&E networks. I think it should be out by now. If it's not, it's coming out still.
Check it out.
But it allowed me to see that his music was the vessel for change, right? His music was the vessels for getting in the door. Because like when Nixon was running for president again, like he had Nixon on, you know what I mean? I don't know if speed dial was a thing back then, but he had him on pager. You know, at least on the letter thread. But he had him. So they would, reach out to him to get into the Black community. So, and I mean, I'm not too much of a political person, but just the fact that they knew who to go to reach a demographic and it's something that is not happening now.
Absolutely
like there's
not.
no larger meaning behind music. It's like they're just putting out songs to put out songs, to put out records, to get streams. And then 2 weeks, the music is not being played. And now they're forcing themselves to drop more music to keep up, to keep up with what race?
Just to keep up their relevancy. That's what it is. Because the music isn't doing it for them because it lacks substance. So it's like maybe
and that's you as a consumer, right? So me on the delivering side of it, you could only imagine how much harder it is to kind of step in and say, oh my gosh, yeah, this is a dope project. Oh my God. Because there needs to be a bigger movement attached. That's why the Bob Marleys are the Bob Marleys.
I've been waiting to say it.
Did you see the movie?
Not yet, but it's on my to-do list for this weekend.
I won't spoil it.
Hold on, not this weekend. Today is February 26th. Let me just make sure.
It's okay.
This comes out in March.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Before the month ends, I'm seeing it.
Yes, you're going to see it. It's okay.
I'm seeing
it. See it.
You saw it?
I saw it, girl.
I heard it's phenomenal.
It's lovely. And as a Jamaican, I'm going to say this.
You proud of what?
I'm proud. Yes. Because a lot of people, have this this unrealistic expectation of documentaries, right? They have to remember, one, it's still a craft. Acting is still a craft. Creating a movie is still a craft. Putting on a show is still a craft. So there has to be that side that's checked off. And then the other side is the storytelling, right? It was they touched the basis of all the questions we had.
Okay.
Right? In a very tasteful way. They didn't disrespect anybody. The music was great. Like and for me, Bob Marley was my mom's Chris Brown.
Same.
So when she was like, the movie's coming out, she wants to go see it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is your Chris Brown. Yeah. So I had to sit there and think like, there's so much to, and I think he passed at 36. Yeah. You know, and it's young. Like, damn, he was young. You're not thinking of that because of how young I was when I discovered Bob Marley. So in my head, he already lived his whole life. Yes. And that's what it felt like.
I think that's exactly what it felt like.
So when you watch it, you're gonna.
I'm so excited. And coming from a Jamaican, because I know y'all some tough critics. Listen to my
let me tell you one thing about Jamaicans. One thing we're going to do is critique. And we're going to critique as far as you allow us to. And then we're going to be like, yo, you see they listening to that? Like, they did a great job with the movie, hands down. Hands down.
I'm happy to hear that. Before we get to wrap it up, I do want to get into dating and relationships.
Oh, Jesus. Just slide down this. Let me just slide out of the frame.
Oh, come on. Let me zoom in on you.
Oh, my goodness. Just when I thought we was doing good. We were doing good.
Why the slide, Cree? Because... Okay, go ahead. I want to get into your... Start into your business just a little bit, you know, like being a successful woman, not only in your industry, right? But you have your degree, you do well for yourself, and so forth. What is it like? Is it difficult navigating dating? Because
I think before you get to even the because, like, I think it's difficult navigating simply because I'm a lover girl, and I haven't gotten to experience that, being giddy over a partner and being like, oh my God, like, I don't get to experience that because I'm now in this space of my life where you're successful, you know, you got things going on for you, whatever the case. So I don't get to experience that little whimsical part of it. People meet me and think it's like, all right, cool. So this is my intention. All right, cool. You know, and then it becomes like a little boring. And I'm like, dang, I don't get the random phone calls at 2:00 in the morning. Like, what you up to? Let me talk to you.
I want a little butterfly,
you know, like
excitement.
Like, I don't get to get those things. And
I don't like that. You don't get those.
I don't get them. I don't know if it's because people are like, oh, you know, she works in music. She probably, you know, not even on that. That's probably me doing too much. And it's like, it feels weird. So because I don't get the whimsical part of it, and I just get the like hardworking part of it, it feels like a job. Like, dating feels like a job now. Like, I don't get to have fun because of what people think, or because of how people perceive me. And I can't speak for people because that's their perception. Yes. But just from the experiences that I've had, I don't get to be whimsical and have fun. And that's the only way that I'm able to know if, like, this person is for me. Because at the end of the day, I'm not about to be dating somebody that don't got themselves together. No. I'm not going to be dating somebody that's not respectful. I'm not going to be dating someone that don't got God in their life. That's like, important to me.
Hello, we have standards. We're not desperate. We have standards.
Thank you.
It's really that simple.
Been single for a minute, for an hour, for about a month. Okay, if you want to do the time. If you want to, yeah. But and not just for a month logistically. Like, if you get what I'm saying.
Get the gist.
It makes me really nervous to date. I get very anxious when it comes to dating. I think that's the one part of my life that I'm the most nervous about. Really? You could put me in front of a crowd of 10,000 people and I got to introduce this artist, or I got to get the crowd hype, or I got to...
You're comfortable.
You know what I mean? You put me in front of Beyonce and be like, all right, girl, remember you used to be a singer, sing. And I'm like, Beyonce, I'm not you, so I'm going to sing, but you know I'm not you. Like, I don't get nervous for those things. Dating for me is very nerve-wracking because... you know, I did grow up with a single mom. So I saw my mom hold it down.
Oh, shout out, yes.
Shout out to you, mommy. I love you all my heart. I saw my mom hold it down. My mom was my rock. My mom is my rock, not was. My mom is my rock. And recently I just got to make peace with my dad, who passed last year, March.
I'm sorry.
And he wasn't a part of my life. However, when I did get to go and spend a month with him in October, it's like so much forgiveness was done, you know?
I love that.
And it was like once I got to that place of being able to forgive him, I was able to now realize like how my dating habits were affected because I just never thought someone could choose me. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to say that to sound cheesy, but when you grow up seeing your mom hold it down and then you make peace with your dad like before he passed away, that triggers something in you to allow you to know like the things that you want, it's okay to want these things. Like no matter what. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like it's okay for you to want these things. I even got a song with my dad. Like the producer I managed, Swanky, shout out to you. He created a song because my dad was like, you always wanted to be a singer. I'm telling him about the music industry and all this stuff. And he's like, what? I was like, all right, sing right now. I'm gonna make you a star. I'm gonna send it to a producer. He gonna send me back a song. He's like, you for real? And then he sung in that hospital bed. He sung his soul out his body. And I have that record.
Cree, I love that.
Yeah, I have that record. So I have that forever now. It's like a song of my dad. But it was one of the things that really opened my eyes to knowing like, all right, if there's someone that I'm going to allow to come into my life, it's because you're making my life so much better. Yeah. You're making my peace so much more peaceful. You're making my joy so much more I can't even talk. More, you're bringing me more joy, you know? And it's one of those things that like, I had to sit back and realize like dating for me now is, are you coming into my life and making it better and making me feel more safe? So being in the music industry, it's hard to navigate that because you don't know who trying to hit a lick, get put on to this person, meet this producer. You know. You
don't know the intentions and the purity of those intentions.
Exactly.
And it's like, I feel sometimes it's a gamble, it's a risk. Because it's like,
a risk.
I can invest 6 months of my life into you, right? Because I think, or you're showing me that the intention is me, who I am at my core, right? To get to know me and date me. But sometimes you could just be a
change
that part. And you could just be really patient. And that's why you can do the 6 months.
Exactly.
So it's that just uncomfortability of, is it real?
That's why I get very like, you gonna call me back? All right, call me back. Sometimes it's almost like I do this on purpose.
Like you don't really get attached, you feel like? Or
no. I get attached. Like I can honestly say like I can get attached to someone if I'm enjoying their company and their persona and who they are. But I kind of like see like, are you gonna get annoyed by me?
Got it.
Because
patience is very telling.
Do you get me? And it's not even a tester. It's more so like, okay, there's different. I'm a very complex person. There's a work me, there's a fun me, there's a friend me, there's a sad me, there's a happy me. There's a me that got your back, will never tell you what I'm going through because I got to show up for you in this moment.
Yes.
Okay? So there's all these different versions of me, right? And I know the version of me that's going to make someone kick bucket. I know what's going to make someone be like, oh, girl, that's too much,
Yeah.
So why not you see that now?
I agree.
Before I give you all the great versions of me. Like what? Like if I know you don't even have the patience to kind of like talk to me or find out what's bothering me or even creating that space. And then when I come to you, because you created that space, you're like, oh, I don't even know right now. Or like give me a minute or like, now you're trying to flex on me because you feel like you got me.
Yeah.
But you don't have me.
Yeah.
So I'm very big on showing up as my true self, admitting to where I'm wrong, apologizing when I'm wrong, which is really hard because I'm a Taurus, so I ain't never wrong.
I'm a Taurus, moon and rising.
Oh, girl. So you feel it in your chest.
But I do apologize effortlessly. It's the Libra.
Yes, no, I apologize. I apologize like, I'm sorry.
But we're stirring. It's stirring.
That's my apologize like that. I'm sorry. Because I got to do it with humor because I'm really sorry, but I'm embarrassed.
I got it.
So